Hey, what's up, guys? All right, so we've been talking about arbitrage. We've been talking about how to generate cash flow for the business for a while, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys through a process of me doing it on the lead gen side with leads, arbitraging media. So ultimately, it's going to be a step-by-step process where we ultimately identify buy side, then we find sell side, and then we make a middle and we generate a lead for one price and we sell it for a higher price. And then that in between, that difference is the arbitrage of where we're going to be profitable. Okay, so I've been talking about this for a while. There's steps to take. So I'm going to show you guys how we go about doing this with what I do with my team. So you guys can see how it works, how we go about doing everything, and if there's anything that you guys get out of this, awesome. I hope it is helpful, and then you're able to kind of implement it yourself. But this is a way to create some cash flow. And you could do it in a lot of different ways, but today we're going to do it where we're out there in a step-by-step process of figuring out how to find a home for leads that we have. Okay? So, with that said, take a ride with us. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop on with a few of my guys and just kind of talk through high level of what we're doing. So we've been talking about this for a little bit, right? And we have something to work on today. I think I spoke briefly with some of you guys individually about the plan of what I want to accomplish, which is right now we have a few different things going on, but we're out there trying to find buy side for people that want to buy leads, right, today. And at the same time, we're building out these products and flows for either our own properties or if we go out and we get distribution in a third-party flow that already has the traffic, and then we then act as an empath and try to monetize that flow for them, which is all good and dandy. But the short term, what's happening is we have these buyers, these advertisers, and they want to buy leads. And the concept here is that we want to be able to go and generate leads for buyers that we already have, whether it's doing it internal or syndicating it out and finding distribution on their behalf and making a middle. Hence, we're going to arbitrage the traffic, right? So today we've been doing that in different ways with different verticals. Credit repair is one of them. So with credit repair, something that just transpired is we might be losing our main buyer for the moment, and we still got to talk to them about that to see if that's going to happen or not. So in the meantime, I thought it'd be a good exercise for us to kind of take steps to figure out, all right, well, if we have leads that we're generating and those leads now are going to go homeless in the next 3 days, we need to figure out where we can send these leads, or what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to scale back and stop generating leads until we find a home for it. So there's a bunch of steps that we have to take, but so one is we already have the leads, right? We're already generating the leads. So the first thing we need to do on the lead side is to figure out what is the value per lead that we currently are getting. Now that doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to get the same value per lead for other people that we send the leads to, other companies, because of the way that this business works, which is you generate a lead, we post that lead, their call room dials out on that lead, then it's all based on what the conversion rate is for them to close a sale and what the value of that sale is, so that it then would back out to whatever that cost per sale for them is, they're allowable, that they're going to pay us. So when we're doing that, there's going to be a value per lead that we generated for them, so that's what we got to go off to start, right? But that doesn't mean necessarily that that's how we're going to see it moving forward, right? I just want to be clear on that. Number two is we need to understand on the leads that we're generating, what it is costing us to generate the lead. So what's the cost per lead, right? So when we look at that, we're going to be able to see, all right, I'm pretty sure we're generating like, I don't know, 5,000 to 10,000 leads a day. These leads are coming from a bunch of different sources. So each source is going to have a value today to us, right? So we'll be able to see what the revenue per lead is, and then we're also going to be able to see by that source what the cost per lead is. So that's going to be important because of where we're at today of what the expectations are on how we can move forward with the business as it is today. Doesn't mean we have to. It's just where we are today to get some color and what's going on in the landscape of this particular deal. In the scenario where we lose a buyer, right? Well, we have to replace that buyer. So we need to figure out where else can we send those leads, right? Normally, it would be great if we had multiple buyers in certain areas so that if one leaves, we just can second man up, right? It's like same thing as like in sports when the guy gets hurt, all right, the starter's out, who's up? Second man comes up, he's got to replace him. Same concept, right? So we need to figure out one, what buyers we have currently. So we have relationships with buyers, right? So we're going to look at it like that. So we'll look at the relationships, the buyers that we currently have, and we can have a conversation. Number two is we want to look at what other buy side is out in the market from a direct buyer. So whatever the vertical is, you're going to look for the direct buyers, okay? So in that scenario, we're going to have to create a list of all of the buyers out in the marketplace, identify who they are, try to get in touch with them. We're going to call them up. We're going to have a conversation with them. We're going to explain to them what we have available to them to have or not, right? And they could say yes or no. They could tell us however they want the deal to be structured. And then we can agree or disagree on if we want to move forward with that particular buyer. Number two is if we can't find direct buyers, we could look for brokers. So a broker who is willing to buy the lead. Usually a broker is going to pay less for the lead. Very normal. But with that said, sometimes if you can find a home, it can sustain the business for a short term. And then we work to find other buy side as we continue on, right? So you're always trying to fill the buy side as much as you can because of these situations, right? So we could look and see if a broker is willing to pay for a lead what we are currently paying to generate that lead, right? And then some. Likely going to be challenging, right? But with that said, maybe we do it in a way where we structure it where we'll sell to 2 to 3 brokers and it won't be exclusive. If we don't do it exclusively, then that could add up to us being profitable with the leads short term as we figure out, what we want to do when you lose like a key buyer like this, right? Number 3 is communicating with different call centers where they may want to buy the lead, whether they want to buy the lead for them to work the lead for credit repair. So they call, dial, qualify, send them out. Or they could do it where they're interested in buying the lead and then potentially trying to get them to take another offer afterwards, whether they take it or not on that core vertical. So that's the conversation that we need to have with the call centers. And ultimately, there could be other ways we could potentially do this, but if that's where my mind goes right now of the 3 ways to find a home for some of these leads. If you guys have any other ideas, I'm all open to it, but I think this is a good place to start. So what we need to do is I've asked Trevor and Dana to go and put together a list of all the buy side of direct buyers. Then we want another list of call centers and a third list of anybody that's on the broker side. And what we're going to do is we're going to go out to the marketplace and we're going to position this as we have leads to sell and get feedback on who's open to buying these leads, how much cap, is there any restrictions, etc., etc. We have to explain ultimately what is it, our brand. We have a brand, then how we're generating these leads. These leads are coming through, and then we have back-end buyers, and now we're looking to fill some inventory because we have excess inventory for what's happening on the back end of our buyers. And what we're going to do is go out and get feedback on how people are working today. So some might want to tell you that they're going to pay you on a cost per sale. Some might tell you that they want to buy it on a cost per lead. We don't know. We're going to see. I'd say the majority of people will likely fall towards a cost per sale. And in that case, it becomes a bit more challenging because We don't know what their conversion rates are going to look like to determine what it's going to back out for us. So I'm not opposed to it. However, we'll likely have to scale back on some of the volume if we can't find a home within the next few days for that. So with that said, I just wanted to kind of like get a powwow here, give you guys a high level what we're doing so that we can kind of go through this step by step with a process for two reasons. One is for the immediate excess leads that we have that we're going to look for a home for, and if there's anybody else that wants it, right? Like when I say brokers, really anybody in the market that's there. There's a lot of people that may be interested in buying these leads in some capacity, right? So yeah, so when we go and look for this stuff, we're going to do it on this particular vertical. However, we've been working hard to go and get all these other buyers for all these other advertisers, and I think it's low-hanging fruit for us to be able to just create some cash flow for what we have going on here. I'd say the fourth thing we could do here is we could set up deals where we have, when we talk to like a call center, we do a deal where they qualify the leads for us and then transfer those leads out to the back-end buyers. And then in that case, we would have to have a pay per call deal. So when we're talking to people on the back end, we're looking to do it on getting paid on a direct lead that we would post to them. And we're looking to get paid where if we qualify the lead and then we transfer them, or we drive an inbound call on a PPC, pay per call, what does that look like? And what are the terms for that specific payout? So pay per call, pay per lead, pay per sale. Those are the three models that we're looking at, hearing, trying to understand what's out there, and then we can kind of make a decision on who it is we want to work with, or it could be multiple people that we test to see, and then we go at it. So I just want to put a plan together here so that we can take a few hours to go after it, divide and conquer, and see what we come back with. All right?